Sila. Halo, halo. اتفضل.
Hi, Alaka. Good to see you again. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
good.
we are.
Okay, I don't. Okay, go ahead. I don't. Can't see what my guy did. Yeah.
Was watching about when I hit him in the face, then all the rest it helps out, so it just shows someone putting bodies on the line last it.
My God, this.
Swallowing getting across there, body on again, and it's hit the post. The body on means this, it's an incredible effort. This little flick, and I think he's trying to get that round and do exactly what he's almost executed. Fucking so finished. Knocking on Sutherland's door once again.
I just. Okay, go ahead.
Mm.
Yeah, I can go. It's fine. Sure. Good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. It's morning where I am, so good morning to you guys if you're watching from my time zone. My name is Ehis Ezeko. I am a database administrator by profession, but yeah, I decided to take this course because the job market, right, it's constantly changing. And there's constant need to upgrade your skills. And I felt, and I've always wanted tools, and I was recommended to this academy by a very close friend of mine. And yes, it wasn't a mistake. I did go my ERD and data modeling. So this is the relationship. This is the relationship diagram that I came up with. So like I said, I have my clients. My clients table. These are the columns under my clients. I have my client's ID, which is also the primary key because it has to be unique. There's the full name, email, phone number, country. Same with the programs. There's a primary key, which is the primary ID. For sessions, I have my session ID as the primary ID. Payment ID is the primary ID. And we have the enrollment. Now, you see all the other tables are connected to the enrollment table because that is my fact table, right? That is the table. This table actually gets data and information from all the other tables, right? So that's why it's in the middle and it's connected to all the rest. So now this is the relationship, entity relationship. So for clients, we have, like I said, all of my tables are connected to the enrollment. So clients, we have like one-to-many relationship. For the program, one-to-many for enrollment, just like that. So yeah, just like that. So yeah, for the normalization, my database is normalized to 3NF. And this is because it has gone through the 1NF and 2NF stage. So what this basically means is just to protect the quality of data that is being put into the database. We're not repeating groups. All the tables have primary keys, and there's no transitive dependencies. So now this is SQL implementation. So I have a lot of all of this, but I know that each student is going to be getting like 10 minutes, so I needed to summarize as much as possible. So during the SQL implementation, I did use DML, which is data manipulation, data definition language and data manipulation language. So for the data definition, which is the create database, first of all, I needed to create a database for this organization. And I did that by running my create database ACE Digital Academy. So if you look at the left-hand side, you see that when I did run, it was successful and it created the database, which is ACE Digital Academy right there. So after that, I needed to create my tables. So that's where the data definition, data manipulation, right? Language comes in. Yeah. So I did I needed to create all my tables. So I created the client table, the program tables. And when you're creating, you know, you're going to list the columns that you need. So for the client table, there's the client ID, the full name, email, phone number, country. And I also needed to include my data type into this query and, you know, put the constraints that I want. Not null, I don't want no nulls. I defined the column that's going to be like that's going to have the primary key. So when all of that is done, I ran my statements it created, and that's where you have the data, the DBO, which is the schema .clients. So next was to impute my data into that particular table. So this is the statement. It's insert into the client's table. And these are the values that I needed to insert, the names of the clients as they are registering, their email address, their phone number, and the country that they are registering from. So when that is done, I ran my select statement, and yes, this is where you have the data. So same process I went through for all the other tables, which is the session, insert the data, and also run the select statement to see if the data is actually in there. So for the next question, we were tasked to run certain queries, essential queries, you know, across board, just to make sure that, you know, we can get certain information. And I choose to do joint statements. I think we needed to do at least 2 joint statements, but yeah. So The first one was to retrieve all the clients and the programs that they enrolled in. So the clients, remember, I have a client table. I also have program table. They are two different tables, right? So I needed to pull information from two different tables so I can get the information from the client table and also the program table. And this is the query that I ran, the select statement with the inner join from the client table and the program table, and also the enrollment as well, right? Because from the client, I have the full name and email address. From the program, I have the program name. And from the enrollment, I have the enrollment date and also the status of the client. So once I was able to do that, this was the result, right? Yes, this was the result that I got. Same thing, this one was to show the payments made by each client. This I got from the program table, the enrollment table, and also the client table. And this one is to list all the upcoming sessions for each client. Yeah, so this was also gotten from clients, program, and session table. So for the data governance, these were the measures that I put in place. Under security, I have role-based access for the admins, the SQL Server admins, coaches, and finance staff. So with the role-based, you give access to you give role-based access to individuals. The coaches, for example, they only have access to the session table because that is what they need, you know, to be able to know the clients that they're going to be having their session with. For the finance staff, they have access to the payments. And the admin, of course, the admin has access to the whole of the database just in case there's any troubleshooting to be done. There's apply list access privilege. Like I said, clients do not have access to the backend. Probably they have an application they're dealing with, you know, to have access to, well, to get information about the programs, their registration, you know, the upcoming sessions and all of that. Then there's also encryption at rest. This just means you're protecting the data at its place of rest, making sure that, you know, you're preventing theft and nobody's getting to your data. And the second one is encryption in transit. Certain information is just protected, you know, in case of hacking. Then for the data integrity parts, primary key, I've already spoken about that. Then we have a foreign key, foreign keys. Then we're doing checks and not constraints to make sure that you know, to ensure data integrity. Then there's also the unique constraints and regular backups in case data needs to be recovered. Then for external, we're protecting PIIs, which is personal information, as much as possible. This, I think the credit card information will fall under this, you know, phone numbers, email address, we're protecting all of that. Then we're also making sure that we're following international guidelines because, like I said, we're getting clients from all over the world, right? Places like Canada, they have their own guidelines, so we need to follow that. EU, they have their own guidelines, we need to also follow that as well. We're going to be getting consent before we store certain data, and we're also going to let the clients know we're storing those data and use payments like secure methods of payments to store credit cards information and so on. Now, that's the end of the SQL parts. So this is the Power BI session. So I structured this dashboard for high-level oversight to operational performance. It's just data on consumer complaints over time, you know, for 5 minutes more. Okay, for certain products that are being offered across different companies. So the total number of companies that I got, which are the key performance index, where 1,081 companies participated in this project. Yeah. Then the total complaints gotten was 62,000. 9. So over the years, between 2017 and 23, then there was a decline of the complaints in 2019. Then there was a decline of the complaints in 2023. Then from this, we can see that the credit reporting and mortgages, and if we go to the states, and if we go to state, we'll see that the hotspots with so many states like California complaints, they submit through web, referrals, phone, postal